An OC is an original character, created by an author or a fan of a piece of media, often displayed in the form of art or writing. A self-insert refers to an author writing themselves into a story as a fictional character, often to live out fantasies or explore their own perspectives within the narrative. Put these two together and it's basically you, but a character in a story you like. I understand some people don't view self-inserts or self-insert OCs in a positive light. It gained the rep of being cringe, weird, gross, when a lot of young beginner artists showed their inserts in fandoms. Now, when I say words like cringe, weird, gross, I put it in quotation, quote unquote, because in my opinion, I don't really think inserts are those words in particular. Some notable inserts I saw during that time were often in fandoms like My Hero Academia and Undertale. And when this all happened, it was like during 2018 to 2019, and then it also started popping a lot in during quarantine. And I can see why some people don't really like it, but I also don't see the point in bullying other people for making self inserts. In my opinion, as long as the person in question is not doing any weird stuff with their insert, like, oh, they're like I don't know, in their 20s and they're shipping themselves with a character that's like 15, 16, and like they're also you're also not bullying other people for making self inserts, and these people in question are not doing anything wrong. I think it's okay to make self insert and self insert OCs. So, today, I will be showing you guys an insert I made for this small little fandom for an upcoming radio drama called Birds of Paradise by Rosetta Sun and River Seas. Before I begin though, I apologize if the quality of my audio is not that good. I don't have a proper microphone, and the only actual microphones I have is like these small microphones, but they all don't work for some reason. So I'm just using a microphone that's like the one with the earbuds and it's connected to it. So, and there's like it's raining right now, and I'm also doing this in like early morning, so forgive me if my voice sounds a bit weird. The synopsis of Birds of Paradise is basically this. Birds of Paradise is about these four runaway witches, Lucille and Leola Hemlock. Lucille is the main character, by the way, Iris Consani and Creek Montego, whom escape Mistyville Academy, a haunted residential school run by cryptids and urban legends, whom have kidnapped these young children, whom are most likely young witches as well, for a national witch hunt. The main villain in the Mistyville arc, the beginning arc, is Headmistress Okumura, the Jurogumo. Most of the story takes place when they're adults, however, when they've escaped this school and into Inferno City, a haven for cryptids, legends, and creatures alike, made by the one and only Jersey Devil, whom is named Dante here. The Coven, the birds, we refer to the four characters as the birds slash the Coven, is then joined by Alexander Alexei Van Helsing, a monster hunter turned vampire from a curse, whom came from the Van Helsing clan, which is a clan that's very powerful and very rich, which I totally know a lot about. Now, this cheeky little fella gets into a little affair with Lucy later on in the story, which this ship, I live for the ship, by the way. And well, I do want to talk about Birds of Paradise a lot. This video is just mainly about my self insert, so I'm just gonna summarize these characters. So Lucy is a rampaging genderless pansexual that has cannibalism issues, somehow a hardcore Christian despite all the questionable things she's done for the sake of good. Leola is the only straight character here, motherly, protective, and also has that I don't give a F attitude and is physically stronger than the Hulk. Iris is a trans aro ace icon that's literally Barbie if she was a cannibal, a theater kid, and a witch. Creek is a gay chihuahua that spends 90% of his energy on keeping his temper at bay, 10% of it spitting out so many insults in one breath he could give Eminem a run for his money. And Alexei is an effeminate, empathetic vampire that is somehow a narcissist in the same breath and is used to getting what he wants. If you want to learn more about Birds of Paradise, you can go check out Rosetta Sun's Tumblr and TikTok, and for the exclusive content such as teasers for the radio drama, you can go check out her Patreon. I don't exactly have a reason for why I decided to make a self-insert instead of another OC. Yes, I have another OC. I will talk about her next time, I swear. Other than the fact that I just thought, hey, wouldn't it be cool if I was in this story? Or like, hey, what would I be like as an actual canon character in a story like this? But I never really thought about making the self-insert or self-inserts in general because I always gravitate towards making OCs instead of actual self-inserts. I know I say that word a lot. Mainly because of A, backlash, and B, they end up being nothing like me. I could never figure out how to put myself into a character without feeling the need to make the design look, oh, maybe I should change this, or oh, maybe I should make it even more cooler, or maybe I should make her even more powerful. But then I had to tell myself after a while that, hey, it's not cringe, or it's something that I'm really happy about. You know, Birds of Paradise made me happy. OCs made me happy. I wanted to make this video because I thought it would make me happy, and it's something I've wanted to do for a while. Birds of Paradise, although I have not been in the fandom for too long, and the fandom itself is small and hasn't been here that long, I adore the people whom have made it become a thing and the love and the passion they put into it. The team behind Birds of Paradise is astonishing, to say the least, and if you guys are watching this, I have to say you have inspired me so to make my own projects, to improve myself, to strive for my dreams. And I have interacted with some of the members from that team, mainly voice actors, and it usually when that happened, it was in their lives, and y'all, they're so sweet. They're so sweet. They're like, I know like I don't know them personally, but I think they're just very sweet. And so, Rosetta, River, dearly beloved team of Birds of Paradise, if you're watching this, I seriously cannot thank you enough for making Birds of Paradise become a thing. So, this is the part where I actually talk about the self insert. So, this insert, I call her Aisha Hemlock, nickname Peanut, because it was bestowed upon her by Creek when he summarily called her a dried up, wish washy peanut after she screwed up something. I don't know what she screwed up. She made a joke about it being a nickname, and now it's actually her nickname. She doesn't fully remember her actual identity. She only remembers waking up in Mistyville and just started existing afterwards. Aisha was just a name she saw in a book once and thought, yeah, that's a nice name, so she used it. She's the 6th addition to the Coven and is basically the PR for their hexing business. She helps with promoting their spells, potions, poisons, jinxes, hexes, and packing the stuff and selling it to other people. If anything, she's kind of a doormat. The rest Notably, Creek, Iris, and Lucy sometimes mess with her a lot, picking at her for being scared of them and being eaten by them. She should be. The characters of Birds of Paradise have birds, or maybe even animals, that are basically their symbol. Lucy is the great horned owl, a cannibalistic and extremely aggressive creature, symbolizing wisdom, intuition, guidance, and even death. Leola is the crow, one of the most intelligent birds, and symbolizes adaptability, transformation, and change as well as death. Iris is the flamingo, a tropical bird that symbolizes beauty, balance, potential, and romance. Creek is the dove, a small bird that symbolizes peace, hope, and new beginnings. And for Alexi, he is the bat, a flying mammal that symbolizes darkness and evil, but also rebirth and intuition. So I just basically decided for her to be a bird as well. So I decided that she would be the European stone chat. When I searched about it, it's a small robin-sized bird that is known to be very skittish, and it has a very distinctive voice call. It symbolizes adaptability, resilience, and change, but is also known to be associated with dark powers or the devil, which is very interesting to say the least. I will totally be doing something with that lore. So, Aisha has shoulder length, straight, dark brown hair, circlish velvet glasses, slightly dull skin, and a resting bee face. She wears a lot of modest attire like Lucy, and while she does adore the Coven for their power, their personality, and everything, she doesn't really FW the darker things they've done. She was friends with the Hemlock twins in the Mistyvale arc before she got to know the other two, but it was a little harder for her to get on their good side, especially Creek. Trust me when I say she does feel emotions, but she low-key finds it hard to express it, since she's more used to repressing her emotions and just showing minimal facial expression. This is kind of like a self-projection, to say the least, because whenever I show some kind of strong force of emotion, I've always been told that it's a bit weird, you're too dramatic, or you need to tone it down. So I just decided to put this in the self-insert. With how genuinely intimidating and unpredictable the majority of the canon characters in Birds of Paradise are, someone like Aisha would need to be careful with how she behaves or what she does for them. However, people like Alexi or Dante, she is more comfortable around them, and she'll match up to that quote-unquote energy and be more and is more likely to be comfortable with showing who she really is as a person to these kind of people. How she escaped Mistyville was like right after the birds escaped Mistyville. I'm sure you can tell this was definitely scripted, right? I'm just being sarcastic, don't worry about it. And basically, she escaped with them. Okay, not with them. She followed them when she escaped, and they didn't notice. So summarily, she followed them, got lost, got into Inferno City, got lost, found them, lost them again, then found them, and then when they actually noticed her, they didn't recognize her at first, but then after a bit of convincing and whatever, they were able to jog their memory back, and she joined them right afterwards. It was mainly possibly Lucy or Leola's idea for her to join them so she could find home and shelter, and they're the only ones that she recognizes, and they might need a little extra pair of hands to help them with their dirty work, so she joined them. In Birds of Paradise, everyone has some kind of magical ability, and the only one that has been revealed so far is Dante. And Dante has the ability to see souls of people. and how rotten or good it is, or like what the souls look like, he can see it. And it's also confirmed that Creek uses science to influence his magic, but otherwise, we don't know the abilities of like the characters yet. It is also confirmed by Rosetta, however, that when Dante looked into the souls of the birds, he just saw nothing. So if that's the case for them, then Aisha's soul is a flame that keeps flickering and inconsistently burning up. When she's upset, angry, or excited, or any strong emotions in general, her soul internally dampens, burns up, and shifts like it's a living thing living inside another living thing, because that's technically what it is. So while it didn't shock Dante that, you know, her soul would look like that kind of soul, he also never really expected someone like her to have such strong emotions, especially when she doesn't really show them as much as you think she does. As for her ability, I was gravitating towards giving her the ability to draw things and make them come to life, much like Kunikida from Bungo Stray Dogs, or ink manipulation, or something like all those like cool things that Dr. Facilier from Princess and the Frog can do. So, in the end, just decided to settle on ink manipulation because I've always wanted to give my character like an ability to do something like that. She's now able to create, shape, and manipulate ink, and I personally think that that's a very cool and versatile ability. In terms of her relationships with canon characters that I mentioned in this video, um, she's fascinated by Lucille. Her morally grey nature, her beauty, her voice, her everything. She's still scared of her, however, since, you know, Lucy's very unpredictable, the most dangerous, and an absolutely loose cannon. And one wrong move and you're dead meat. Literally. But she is the reason why she even has shelter and food on the table. So she brushes it off. She knows Lucy means well, but she doesn't really know how to cope with the fact that she literally murders to, you know, get what she wants. Aisha leans towards Leola more, since Leola is canonically the most empathetic and emotional out of the main five. They also share the struggle of being the only straight people in the entirety of the story, and Leola's like a motherly figure to like everyone else, so like there's this feeling of like home, of like comfort, and like having the ability to rely on someone that'll keep you safe. As for Iris, Le- uh, sorry, Aisha is intimidated by her. I mean, come on, she's 6'4" for the love of God. She's very tall. I too would be scared if a woman was taller than my doorframe staring down at me. Iris likes to pick on her, but unlike with Lucy, where Aisha just goes along with whatever Lucy is doing and saying, she does get back at Iris and bicker with her a lot. And they do know each other from Mistyville, like, and I mean, they knew each other in Mistyville, but like Iris didn't really get to know her that much. She just knew Aisha was in the same theater club as her, and that was about it. Until the Hemlock twins introduced Iris to her more, and like, oh yeah, they bonded over time. They're like bickering sisters, if you know what I mean. As for Creek, Creek is pretty vulgar and brash, and it's a more rocky pairing. He finds her too paranoid, too jittery, and she doesn't really know how to bond with him, so she resorts to giving gifts and showing appreciation through small little actions to like tell him that, hey, I still care. And as for Alexi, she's the most comfortable with him. He's the only one who's fully seen her weird side, and it's interesting, to say the least. She tried to summon a duck demon at 3 a.m. after chugging a whole bottle of grape juice, which probably cost her monthly savings. There's quite a few villains in Birds of Paradise, notably in the Mistyville arc, but I cannot cover on everything, and this video is pretty long already, so let's just say she doesn't really FW them. And as for Dante, she adores him and bickers with him at times, like a niece and her cool uncle. And as of the screen right now, I'm just probably gonna show you some of the artworks I've been making like throughout this entire video. Hope you guys didn't mind the very bad quality of my microphone and my constant rambling, but I seriously hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!